We meet again, and this is the sedimentary rock, second part of the explanation, and we are now in the classification, the derivation or the description of the classification. As mentioned earlier, we have two types of classification. The first one is clastic, or we also name it as detrital group, or also known as fragmented. And then another one is chemical or biochemical group, and also known as non-clastic. The first group, it is known as fragmental or detrital group or clastic group, and it is more physical process. And the second types is more to chemical and biochemical process. So to understand the clastic, which is in physical process, let's imagine we are at the river. We have upstream and then we have downstream. So this is upstream of river, and the lower part is the downstream of river. At the upper part of upstream, this is high velocity. The water runs here in a very high velocity, and the downstream, the velocity is low. We have a fragment of rock which have been weathered, and then we have this river which being the agent of transportation for this sedimentary rock. How the fragmental rock accumulate using this visual of river flow. The bigger the bigger structure or the bigger part of that weathering process will accumulate at the upstream. The intermediate size will accumulate at the intermediate of the river, and at the low stream, the fragment is those who are very tiny in terms of the size. So to understand the detrital group or clastic, the sedimentary form due to the size and the shape of the rock fragment from weathering process. So we do have types of sedimentary rock based on these shapes. So let's look into the close-up. We have this one, what we call as gravel. Gravel is the biggest size of rock fragment, and the size is more than 2 mm. So the visual shows that a very big size of particle is accumulate or sedimentation happen at the same place, and this gravel undergo compaction and cementation process, and result with that process is two types of sedimentary rock. The fragment which have rounded class will form conglomerate sedimentary rock. Those with angular class will form sedimentary breccia. And next is sands. Sand is the rock fragment. The diameter of rock fragment is 2 mm to 1/16 mm. So this one is smaller than gravel. Also go through the compaction and cementation process, and as result with that, we have two type of sandstone. The first one is quartz sandstone, and the second one is the arkose, which is more than 25% feldspar. The smaller fragment compared to sand is silt, and this is smaller fragment. Also go through the compaction and cementation process. Result of that will form siltstone, and most of the rock is mostly silt. The fine grain fragment of rock is in the terms of clay. This one go through compaction process, and at the end the sedimentary rock formed from this process is claystone, and mostly the rock is clay. So this is the process of physical. This rock fragment accumulate at one place, or sedimentation at one place, and then go through the process of compaction and cementation and result to sedimentary rock. This is also known as rhodaceous types of sedimentary rock, and this one is arenaceous, and the last one is argillaceous types of sedimentary rock. So just remember, clastic is physical process, and this is due to the fragment of rock from weathering process. Okay, next, you need to know about the non-clastic sedimentary rock, or also known by chemical process, and the other one is organic, which is biochemical process to form sedimentary rock. The term chemical, we need to understand this is the process of chemical process. The sediment in terms of dissolved matter in a solution. So such sediment identified by their chemical compositions. So if the sediment accumulate in one place, okay, this sediment is known by its chemical composition. The common chemical composition includes the bicarbonates, which is calcium, magnesium, natrium, and kalium, which calcium and magnesium being the most abundant in terms of volume produced. That is one types of chemical process of sedimentary rock. The other, we do have from sulfates and chloride, from natrium, magnesium, calcium, and kalium, and this sediment ultimately form sedimentary deposit and sedimentary rock by two distinct processes known as inorganic chemical sedimentary rock. So whatever go through chemical process, we also known as inorganic sedimentary rock. The last part also under non-classic sedimentary rock, but this is from biochemical process. This is indirect process due to the activity of organism. So these organism will mostly dissolve and that sediment accumulate. And in the organism in the sea build their hard part, internal as well as external, by extracting calcium and magnesium carbonate as well as silica from solution. When these organisms die, their hard part accumulate at the bottom of the sea, and over a period of geologic time form vast accumulation of deep remain, which is under diagenesis are transformed into sedimentary rock. So this is another in a chemical sedimentary rock, but under the terms of organic sedimentary rock. So for classification of sedimentary rock, we have two types, which is detrital group or clastic group. Second is chemical or biochemical group, also known as non-clastic. And that is for the classification of sedimentary rock, and the next part will be discussed under sedimentary rock will be the characteristic of sedimentary rock. Okay, see you again.